Welcome back to Eco, a playthrough I had actually already started, but update 9 has a huge amount of changes and pretty much disrupted everything, so kind of having to restart, which is fine. We're going to skip through the early stages just like we have with the more recent Satisfactory stuff, so you don't have to watch all of that, of course, but I will be giving you some hints and tips, tricks to get started with to get this going. So from here, we're on version 9.2.4 already. Huge number of changes, particularly in multiplayer, with all things like rent and various other stuff like that. But we'll come back to that at some point. However, because I'm playing solo, I won't worry about those. But there are significant changes on single player as well. Things like the industrial elevator. I mean, look at that thing. It's amazing. So all kinds of things to let me not have to go down into a mine via lots of ramps is good by me. Anyway, let's start a host a world, and I'm going to untick allow friends to join. I can keep it solo. Generate a random landscape. No, I'm going to leave it as non-random, just so that you can follow along if you want to in your own world. Update 9.2.4 starting. And then impact days, I'm going to change this to 60 just because I have more time than if I want to do other stuff and demonstrate it. You should leave that on 30 if you're playing it for the first time anyway. It is a countdown. When it hits 0, you will die if you haven't solved the problem. Basically, stop the meteor. And then you can control down here the multipliers. If you want to, you can choose these other collaboration. If you're particularly got more people, you're going to want to have low collaboration at least. If you have people dedicated to it, of course. If the main problem with multiplayer is that people tend to fall off over time on the servers, and then you end up with not enough people to do what you need to do to stop the meteor. So choose what you want as far as the skill multipliers, but this drop down controls these multipliers. So I'm going to choose no collaboration and press start. It's going to start basically generating the world, so I'll bring you back as soon as it's finished. And here we are in the game with the starting tutorials that we're going to get through as quickly as possible on our way to wherever we're going to put our starting area. I'm just going to pick up pumpkins and plants and other stuff like that. You'll see there's a tutorial up here basically getting us to pick up rice and huckleberries and the bits and pieces. So each of those will go away as and when we look at stuff. Well, as and when we pick up stuff even. Not ripe enough? What else does it actually want us to look at for rice and huckleberries? Okay, is that on the map at all? Yep, it does show us on the map where that is. So I'm going to go and head straight for them, so that I can get this get this tutorial off the screen. There's some rice as well, and that'll do. And I'm going to head sort of northwest-ish generally. It's going to ask us to then spot the meteor in the sky. Yes, whenever you see it, it's fine. We can just leave it on the screen until otherwise. What I'm actually looking for is an area sort of equidistant between desert terrain and between a good forest and ideally some plains. So this kind of area seems quite handy. There's a small batch of rocks there as well, which we'll be able to use, but much more over here. So kind of a good idea of this kind of thing. And indeed, you can even put down a marker. Let's just drop a marker. In fact, no, that's going to drop it where I am. I'm going to head over there first. And then I'm going to drop a marker, pick up some mushrooms, and I'll see you over there. And here's the area I was talking about. Let me just drop a marker here, and we're just going to rename that to the home, question mark. That should be fine. There we go. And fine, yeah, no problem. So just level up thing, and these quests, yeah, it's going to not lock the nutrition meter. We'll come on to that a little bit. Just get away with that for the moment. So yes, nutrition meter, 4 quadrants. You're going to need to have a balanced diet. You can see carbs, protein, fat, minerals. Keep them all even, and it's good. The larger this meter is, the better it is, the more work you'll be able to do. So you can see here there is there's a fairly nice sort of area, but it's a bit obstructed by trees and other bits and pieces. So we're going to need to get rid of those fairly soon. But we have a desert very nearby and a forest area kind of nearby as well. So good. First of all, I'm going to need to get my little sort of starting camp. It should be in my backpack already. Yes, it is. So let's just swap those out. And I'm just going to dump some of this other stuff into my backpack as well. I need to make a little bit of space for the tools that we're about to pick up. So let's drop this in here. We can choose wherever we want to put it. That's fine. Yep, start a camp. So I'm going to want to put it somewhere solid. It's going to have a stockpile right next to it, so you need to consider where you're going to put that stockpile. Let's actually just put it over here if it'll fit. It may not fit entirely. Will it let me place it there? No, I need solid ground, so I need to place it a little bit closer. Come on, a little bit closer still. There we go. We're now a resident of Greatest Utopia. We'll change that pretty soon. In fact, let me just change it now. If we go into here, we can go and change the authorization tab. And if we click on this, you can then change it to whatever name you like. Whoops, not that. I need to edit with this one. So Grayville is what we're going to call it. Okay, I'm not going to worry about anything else because there's no one else in the game or no one else in this server, so that's fine. Two things we're going to need is a campfire and a workbench to get started, but before even that, I'm going to want to pick up a stone axe, a shovel, a pickaxe, and a hammer. The rest of the stuff shouldn't be needed, but I'm going to pick it up anyway because one of the quests is going to ask us to take it, which is the claim items, and I'm probably going to want the fish as well to cook it up with a campfire. So we'll leave that alone for now. What we're going to want first is the workbench. It's going to need some wood. It says wood tag, so any kind of wood will do perfectly fine there. This is also going to tell us to basically you can sleep. So I'm going to sleep just long enough for the quest to go away and come back. I don't want to sleep through the night. It will start consuming nutrition when you sleep through the night. So when you want to do that, you're going to want to have a good supply of nutrition to last through the night. So, with that in mind, it's going to start sending us on to other stuff. So, chopping trees, food, fine. So, eat food containing each of the food groups. In this case, tomatoes will give you some of it. And I just need something with fat in it, which may be... Do I have anything in my backpack with fat? Beetroots? Yeah, beets, I should say. Yeah, you can see it's very, very unbalanced now. We're going to want to basically catch fish later to supply the protein and fat, but for now, it's perfectly fine, and I'm going to look for the meteor fairly soon. What are you going to want? Chopping trees, fine. We don't really have any storage right now other than what's in the campsite, so I'm going to just dump in here various bits and pieces into the campsite storage, just so they're out of my inventory. The campfire that we're about to build, we'll be able to grab them straight from here, so we don't have to worry about anything else like that. And in fact, let me just swap those over for those mushrooms or something. Fine. Okay, so off we go to chop down trees, and as it happens, I normally wouldn't chop down a tree this small because it's growing still, but I want to just clear this area to basically build a house, which is the next quest that we get given. So let's just get that going, and it shouldn't take too long before this tree falls over, I would have hoped. I hope it didn't destroy my little stockpile and stuff when it does. Wow, you're really resistant. There we go. There is no need for a timber call for something this small. I'm just saying. Get rid of the sort of branches around the outside, keep everything nice and clean. That does consume nutrition, however, so just bear it in mind when you're actually making this. And then we're just going to chop this up into individual pieces. And then we just dump it straight into our stockpile. There we go. So, too large to pick up? Oh, right, really? Too large to pick up? It's like the size of a bread bin. There we go. We picked it all up. And we can dump it in there. Okay, and we'll just grab the rest later. That's going to be enough for that quest, which is then going to tell us to basically make a campfire, so that's fine. One point it's worthwhile raising here at this point is about work and how it consumes your nutrition. So if you have a look at the bottom left, we're pretty much out of nutrition. So I'm just going to grab... I'm not going to be able to... What happens if I eat raw fish? It's alright, but it's not great. It'll just let me balance a little bit before I actually go all out. There we go. So I've got enough to actually start some work. So over here you can see I can order a workbench, so that's what I'm going to do first. Now at this point it's not actually consumed any of my nutrition because I can add different work orders into the workbenches and they will proceed only when they've got work added to them, which will then take out of your nutrition. And of course, assuming there are ever any ingredients available. Bear in mind, you can also actually order many more than you actually have materials for. You don't need to worry about materials. It'll only consume that when you're actually trying to do things. So you'll see this bottom meter fills up first with work from down here. And then there's an overriding bar which will go over all of them when it's actually starting to make stuff. So you see there, it's got everything it needs. So it's starting to process all the way along. And we're also going to need then to get some rocks. So if I have a look around for some rocks, it is still night time, but we should have some relatively nearby. We've got some there, some behind us. So let's just go a little bit south and we should have rocks. Yep, here's some. We need about 6 to get started. So break that up. 4. And let's just grab some more here. 5, 6. Dump those into our stockpile as well. There we go. Oh, not enough space. Yeah, oh, that's annoying. We'll just place them down here for now. Yep. There we go. And then we can get the workbench out of here in storage somewhere. There it is. And drop it down, and then it will let us do some other stuff. We're just going to place it down, let's say, here for now. And we can order lots more recipes in here than our original tent gave us the ability to. You can see the stuff that requires skills further down. We'll get to that pretty soon. In the meantime, however, we're going to get hewn logs, and it looks like we can make 25 of this. So I'm just going to say 25. And then I'm going to add some work. You can see the nutrition meter getting smaller and smaller, but it's got enough now to actually do everything. And when that's actually happening, it's going to convert these logs over into, these bare logs over into the hewn logs. While we're doing that, it's also going to tell us we want to claim some land. Yes, we are going to want to do that. And we want to complete by picking up the hewn logs. So let me just do that first. Pick up some hewn logs. Carry them. Change to our hammer. I'm going to want to create our first room. We're going to press F and then choose walls. Okay. I am going to need to clear these trees out. Just bear in mind. But that's good because that's where I'm going to want to maybe place the room. Give myself a little bit of space there. I might actually move that one over. Whoops. There we go. And give me that back. So 4 and 5. Hello, dear. Hello, dear. Yes. So we'll get it with a basic 5x5 room, which has 3x3 internally, just to get us started. And I'm going to continue to do that in the background. It'll also say you need to claim the land. So if we go to the claim interface, you'll see I have some already claimed over here. That's cool. But we're going to want to claim this space here that we have. So grab that. Whoops. Right click. Did that claim? I didn't. Oh, yeah, it did claim. Okay. And then we're just going to claim the rest of it. Okay. And I'll do the same over here. I'll do the same over here. And you end up with 6 squares that you can claim at the very start of the game. We can add more later, but for now, this should be enough to get us started. Anyway, I'm off to go and clear out these trees and convert them over into hewn logs and construct a very, very basic little hut for us to start off with. I use the same process, and there's a turkey in the background somewhere gobbling away. I use the same process to craft a campfire, which we're going to place down somewhere useful. Here it is. And then we need to add some fuel to it and other bits and pieces. So if we go across the storage tab, we can give it access to the stockpile and the campsite storage. So I can just, can I shift click? Yes, I can. Just to basically grab one and drop that into our campfire. That should be enough to get it started. And then we're going to want to maybe roast some of these beets. So if we just put those fuel, oh, okay, fine. Let me just move all that over. I can save some space in the stockpile anyway. And then crafting, we're going to want to maybe make some charred fish. Yep, so 3 or 4 of those. Say 5 or something. And then also charred beets. So let's make 5 of those. And then I'm going to add some work to this. As soon as to get it started, and I'm going to want to eat as soon as that actually comes through. It's pretty terrible so far. Okay, so there we go. We need to, it's going to basically say we need to begin terraforming. It's fine, it's only basically getting us to move one piece of dirt, so I guess we'll just take you and we'll just put you back. Yep, that's That's enough to get that task complete. Wonderful. And is the meteor up around? Let's just get that out of the way. There's like a little introduction movie if you can find it. Is it around somewhere? Thought that was it. Oh, there it is. That should be enough. Yeah, impact in 59 days, 23 hours, etc., etc. Good. Although I would have expected that to start the movie needed for the meteor. Find the meteor in the sky. Look, it's right there. Look. There we go. There's the movie. And it's just going to tell you all the things you actually need to do. Basically, build high technology, but do not destroy the environment while you're at it. Otherwise, you could run out of stuff that you actually need. So, cool. Time to get started. I'm going to keep clicking, and we're back in the room. Okay, next up, worldview. It's just going to basically tell you to do stuff with the map. I'm not going to worry too much about that, but over here, you can basically select things like, I don't know, is it going to tell us to do a specific thing? Environmental data, and then an option, so fresh water or something like that. You can see all the different things. For example, you can see plants where, let's see, where beans are, and where the yield population is, so where you can plant them to get really good amounts of beans back from when you harvest. Fine, that's easy enough. And then markers, again, drop a marker, and I'm just going to delete it. Okay, that's that other way. And we don't need that anymore. So only really building my house to go, and quite like the desert area as well. It's easier to actually hunt in the desert area, by the way, with rabbits and stuff like that. We're going to be able to get a bow later. However, in the meantime, pick up some stuff, maybe get some food back. Storage. Do we have some charred fish? We do. And I can just right click that. Yep, so that's protein and fat, and then we should be able to then do, where's the crafting? Oh, deer running over me. We'll need to get rid of those deer entirely ethically later. Okay, so I'm going to cook some more stuff up and then carry on with the house, clear some more stuff, and I'll bring you back when we get to some more useful. And our first room's now complete. It has a couple of holes in the ceiling, but that shouldn't matter as far as this is concerned. So you can see down here you have a separate housing value. You're going to want to have this to be as high as possible, just like your nutrition value. And depending on what furniture you've got in there will depend on how it's actually done. And you have different sorts of rooms: general, bedroom, bathroom and kitchen. And basically general is like utility room, etc. And we won't worry about anything else on the rest there. For now, I just want to get rid of you. Place a block there. And then finish off. Now you can build peak roofs, like up here you have various different roof styles that you can go for. However, the starting hut I generally expand upwards into a second floor and then outwards into a larger room set. So yeah, I don't need that just yet. Let me just drop those for now. I do want to make sure, by the way, in the storage I did give access to the stockpile over here, and I don't necessarily want that because it's going to start pulling in the hewn logs instead of just bare logs, etc., to power the campfire. So I'm just going to give it some bare logs this way and dump them in there like that, and that should continue cooking stuff. So now I have a very, very horrible little house of, well, not that horrible. I guess I could just yeah, improve this a little bit by just putting that block in. I think that should work. Oh, it's the wrong type, that's why. I need the wall block. There we go. Yeah, and that will make the front look correct, as far as I'm concerned. And dump you in there. Is there anything in the stockpile? Yes, I've got some food, so a couple more pieces of charred beet will be fine. I've got some more down here. And some more fish. So that will really fill up my nutrition as far as that's concerned, at least for what we can do right now. Okay, so we've got a hut, we've got this. What we need now is some storage. I'm going to need to ignore that for now. I want to get some storage over here, so we want stockpile. I'm going to want one of those. I just need some wood. So I can order one of those, and we can reorder the queue down here like this, so it'll work on the stockpile first. And then we'll be able to place a proper stockpile rather than the small stockpile and that going on. However, I do want the storage chest as well. That's also going to need some wood, but I want maybe 2 of them, so I'm going to order those, and we'll put them next in the actual order. click there, and we're going to need some work, and then we're going to need some wood, basically. So I have some over here. And we'll drop it down, and that should be enough for it to basically craft everything. We'll go into storage. We should be able to see there's my stockpile, and if I go and try and place it, you'll see how large the stockpile is compared to the small stockpile over there. This is going to be much, much larger, so I need a space for it that's clear of things, ideally. I'm going to put it here for now. Well, it's blocked by something. What are you blocked by? There we go. We'll put it right next to this tree. I'm going to be getting rid of this tree as well. And then that is going to be useful for basically putting everything in, like this. Okay, fine. So that's that done. And then now our chest should be done, or at least one of them should be done. Yeah, there we go. And we'll put that in here for now. I'm going to just put it next to the door. And much, much more storage space. There's a deer that keeps on coming through here. It's really annoying. I need to kill it somehow. Anyway, storage space from a chest, and then we're going to probably want to put a couple of not workbenches, but sort of crafting stations will actually go inside the house as we expand it. So, yep, I'm going to carry on giving it enough work to get it through all the hardwood logs, and then we'll carry on expanding a little bit, and I'll bring you back once I'm done. So in the process of doing this, I leveled up a couple of times. So if you press Z, you can control what you want to level up into, what you want to specialize into. In my case, however, I chose the most obvious things first of all, into carpenter, into logging, take the first level, and the same thing in mine and take the first level. Basically makes it easier to mine, less chops, more efficient for each chop, and also more efficient for processing that into bare materials. You see over here my sort of stockpile starting to fill. Next to it I crafted then a tool bench which you can then repair your tools with, which is quite important. So if I just click over here, I repair and I get my tools back. But also it can then craft new tools like a stone sickle. Sickle is then used to, well, first of all you can clear stuff like this, but that should also give you plant fibers, and plant fibers are going to be needed to craft your research table. I can remember the name of it in a second. You're going to become very, very familiar with said research table. That should be more than enough, and we can even clean up the floor in here, I suppose. Well, I can if I can. Can I not fit through while holding that? Why can I? Oh, there's a tortoise in the door. You've moved in. Well, that's inconvenient. I'll have to get rid of the tortoise somehow. Fine for now, I guess. Let me just dump that stuff in there. Can I dump even more in? Yes, I can. Good. Get out of my inventory. So I'm going to want to craft the research table, and hopefully I can fit it in there with the tortoise in the way. Wow. So there it is. So we're going to need some more rocks, it looks like. So I'm going to order that. Get 16 more rocks, and that should craft me a research table, which we can then use to start unlocking all the other skills and stuff like that. So yes, plenty of food on the go, however, as well. We're going to need that to get where we're going. So I'll bring you back once the research table's done. Okay, research table is now done. I've put it into the building, and the tortoise is still blocking the entrance, I think. Yep. So I'll just reach in through the window for now and get rid of that tortoise later. We can get through various different things that we can craft here. So yeah, we need to go through the papers. It looks like this is a new tech tree entirely in update 9. So we've got to do this a little bit carefully. So we're going to basically spending wood, I assume. Yeah, wood to make dendrology research papers. And then that will get used here to make the actual skill book for carpentry. And similarly, we've got something similar for butchery as well, and farming, etc., etc. We need one of each of those: geology and gathering. Okay, so why don't we get started with gathering, and I can order one of those. And then geology as well. I'm going to need some more rocks, but I'll order them. And then that will unlock the farming skill book, and then I'll keep on working through the rest. And I'll let you know as I'm actually going through, as I'm completing each one, or just showing you when I'm actually using up the skill book rather than anything else. We don't have too much down here before it actually requires the prior tiers, so we've got to be a bit careful about that. But fine, we'll work on these basic tiers to get started. So add some labor there, and add some labor to this one. Yeah, there we go. And off we go. Fine, so that's going to start researching. and at the end of another day. So carry on going, and more rock it seems I'm going to need. So I went through the process of crafting a bow at the tool station, or whatever it's actually called, tool bench. And that's the Minecraft tool station. Yeah, anyway, then once we got that, well, I can clear the tortoise, but when I came back it was gone. It had crawled off somewhere, so I've got a couple more tortoise, maybe tortoise meat related, through a little bit of hate there. But now we should be able to basically hit deer. And I promise that won't die like that in your particular game. I had hit this a couple of times and it kept on running around. So I can pick up the deer and then we can craft butchery tables and stuff like that later as far as actually doing this. So if I make sure that these 2 research things are in there, and can I move the stuff from my inventory? I can. Let me just put it in storage. Yeah, that'll do for now. Assuming there is no rotting going on. I'm not sure if that's actually the case, but we'll see otherwise. So yeah, that's fine. And now can the research table complete? Storage, are you able to craft this? So we have everything we need for farming. So I can order one of those. Quite a lot of work needed for that. But yeah, I have enough. And that will take another 2.5 minutes or so. So I can then go and hunt if I want to. But, you know, we have everything we need for pretty much basic survival now, I think, in the game. So as the sun sets, I think that's a good point to actually finish the first episode. Let me know down below if you... Oh, my nemesis. Let me know down below if you... It's such a hard hunting tortoise. Let me know down below if you want to see more of Eco, along with all the other games I've just started up on the channel. And, of course, I will take a look at the comments, advise you further if you have any specific questions, or indeed what we're actually going to be heading towards in this game. Next episode, we're going to be heading probably creating our first mine, if you like, and getting some ore going. This house does need to be expanded. Each room, depending on the size of the room, will have a limit to the number of tables, different furniture you can put in there. So you do need to make the rooms large enough for it to matter. I have left a couple of extra spaces between the stockpile here and the room, so that we can add a little bit of extra wall here and extend this in this first room. And the same thing the other way, I'll be able to basically take down this wall with some application of a shovel and a little bit of time just filling in this area down here. So we get a bit more flat area in this plains biome, which is what I kind of want to do. Okay, so I think that's it for now. I think that might be a good entrance over there for a mine. Seems quite appropriate to build something in there. But regardless, we'll come back next episode and see where we get to. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have, click on the like button down below and click on subscribe, as well as clicking the bell if you want notifications for more episodes. As always, I'm Grey Duster, and thank you very much for watching this latest episode of Eco.